Hallo, hallo, hallo. Willkommen zurück bei Beacon Pines. Und wir sind doch nicht so viel früher dran wie gestern, nur eine knappe Stunde. Aber ich hatte einfach so viel zu tun und dann habe ich mich tatsächlich nochmal 10 Minuten hingelegt und aus den 10 Minuten wurden dann eine halbe Stunde. Ja. Und dann habe ich auch endlich irgendwann noch was gegessen. Sonst macht mein Kreislauf nicht mit. Aber jetzt sind wir hier. Und wir werden bei Beacon Pines weiterspielen. Ich gehe mal davon aus, dass wir es heute schaffen, durchzuspielen. Weil ich weiß nicht, so viel größer kann der Baum ja nicht mehr werden. Mit den verschiedenen Storyzweigen. Und ich habe sowieso geplant, heute nochmal am Abend, also wirklich Abend nach dem Abendessen quasi zu streamen, also wenn es schon relativ dunkel ist. Und zur Not machen wir es dann dort fertig, wenn wir es jetzt über den Tag nicht schaffen sollten. Aber ich bin eigentlich ganz guter Dinge, dass wir das schaffen. Und ansonsten, ja, würde ich sagen, gehen wir einfach mal frohen Mutes wieder rein und hoffen, wir bringen uns nicht noch 10-mal um. Also ich meine, es ist halt Part davon, ne, dass man halt einfach das Dead End erreicht.
Chapter 6.
Trotzdem nicht schön.
Secret lair. Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder. Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
We have... What time is it? We have a new set of clothes. Ah, never mind. Who is it that early in the day? I'm already scared though. He is wearing a detective hat. That's cute. Rolo, what on earth is that? Huh? That ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this? It helps me think. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast is clear. Yep, whatever she's been up to this week, it's been keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I were a Gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence. He coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Probably not, yeah. Or maybe that's what she wants you to think. I personally think it might be in the one room that's closed off, that there's something hidden there, or it has something to do with the jams she is delivering. Then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rolo. Dread, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost or to ashes. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah, the closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's looked. Well. Look who stands to reason now. And I have no idea where the key is. If I really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought? I'm going to take this important thing and hack it in a bush. True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. But it doesn't matter anyway, I can't reach the
A
ledge.
look of realization crept onto Luca's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
Alright, Rolo. This is your time to shine. Ah, yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall proceed
Before he
with...
could finish, Luca scrambled up Rolo's back.
That's not what he thought would happen. Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every scrot needs a good lockpick. And every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it.
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah. I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey! Let me just yank on this random teacup
Beth
and...
pulled on one of the teacups, it slanted forward with a hollow click. The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Oh well. Seems like your gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only 2 types of people have secret lairs. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So which one do we think she is? I hope she goes direction of superhero, but I'm not quite sure yet. We're about to find out. It's a research lab. Okay, so more of an unhinged conspiracy vibe. Oh wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. We need to look around before jumping to conclusions. Okay, let's look around. What do we have here? Barrels marked caution and explosive. And gem jars. That's enough gem to feed the whole town. What kind of incredible gem is your gran making? She wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs, right? Only one way to find out.
Rolo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam. He
Huckleberries.
smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar. And ink. What?
Rolo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper. Rolo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Miss Fratelli. A grand jam gram. It says, last night I used the disguise Harris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So more a bombshell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here. But I think she is against the harvest peoples, against the hyena guys. So she is infiltrating the place of the devil, basically, to do something against them. So basically, she might go in direction of hero instead of villain.
A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy. Is a serial killer. Cause I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town, out of the kindness of her heart. She put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Longstreet has a check mark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My mom's are both on here. Both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Harris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Care has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim. We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. But it sounds like she has figured out as Nut Creek that he is part of the villains, like the hyena guy who has a bullseye on his head. Because he is the main culprit. And she has a lot of people where she isn't sure on which side they are. That's why the question marks. And she crossed the question mark of the High-Res because the High-Res helped her.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter.
Walter?
For a long moment, he just stared at it.
Walter? What do you got there? It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it? One sec. Dense documents such as this are a lot like a cheeseburger. It's best to skip straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live. Well, I had no idea we were in the presence of the preeminent scholar in dense documents and cheeseburgers. By all means,
He
proceed.
stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscle and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Miss Willoughby just a few days past. Still waiting on lab results from
Rollo
Joseph.
looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy. Yeah, that's kinda disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nuncrete's name. Wait,
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
there's more scribbled in the migrants. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to his report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something
Rollo
else.
scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. This disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast. And with his wife passing, Terence's condition follows close behind. Exacerbate but close. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own
Luca,
hands.
staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say
Rollo
next?
rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luca frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullshit.
Luca slammed the drawer shut. They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool, this looks like a treasure map. Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. It starts at the entrance to town. And if we follow
Rollo
it,
carefully traced the path with his finger.
it leads right
He jabbed
to
down at the end point.
Town Square. It's the fountain in the middle of town. What do we have playside treasure? Although that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of path on that map has the same symbol as those explosives over there. So it's not hiding treasure, a real bummer. Wallo, what's the thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival. Did you just say school. This feels like a goop kind of situation. Everyone will be gathered near the center of town. She's gonna blow up the festival. Not if we stop her. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
What? No, I hear the door. That was the front door. Which means someone just shut the door. Which means someone's upstairs. Shh. Quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark.
But isn't it suspicious that the shelf is open?
Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall. Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down there?
Three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump.
Yo-ho! I'm not here to hurt anyone.
Thump.
I'm just here to help. Just
Thump. At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
huh? Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly. Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop.
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo? Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
I didn't know if I had it in me, but there was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rollo, that was awesome. What? Did you just kill that
Luca
person?
scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out
As
cold.
Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver.
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They ran the classic good cop, check cop interrogation. Isn't it the good cop, the bad cop? Would hard work for a bad?
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr.
He
Tolliver!
grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Whoa. Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. No, hold on. Let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're
The
sweating.
doubtful expression on Beck and Lucas' faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You've tied me down. How can on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in the cahoots with Gren. Gren?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good
He shook
lord.
his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
Oh no, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's
His
where
voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation
With
Sparkplug?
that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began. We need more information. So that's the fabric, the old fabric that shut down. Because of the fabric that shut down, factory. Because of the factory, the whole village flourished and grew. So it's the beginning of the town, right? Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the history museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, the tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about the source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Did they just leave the poor scribble man in the basement? This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Big flirting with a penguin. Kato hung out there. Here's so much. Eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got your work for free? It's great and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next tank automatic. And if you are here with more candy, I have you know I can't be about. Call the person record of conscience. Oh, fair enough. I'm just gonna sip. On some water. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing we sort of don't know. What have you got on the history of the town? Yeah, the country record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst, but the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these assigned death records. Brother Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his
Shut
ears.
his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, bro. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the upper dairies myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
Yeah, county record. Really? That's the best you've got? And I'm done with you. You'll be the footnote in history. Just
Slammed her
like
finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey, hey, hey! We are all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name back? I'm the... Ovich? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name, Jennifer Hartford. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Miss Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your gun is 6 feet under 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Oh my gosh. Who is he living with? Alright, gang, I got a close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10? Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I think of something. So they actually left him there.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Oh, she is back!
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
But it makes no sense that you wouldn't have found him, right? Like, it literally makes no sense. Can we just ask her? No, we can't interact with her. It's still open. That makes absolutely no sense. She will go into the kitchen once she's home. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
I'm afraid your jam delivery will be
He
delayed.
flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tuttle, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. Oh no. What if, since she knows Mr. Nuncreed is one of the bad guys, what if there's something in the jam for Mr. Nuncreed? And we just ate poisoned jam or something. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Oh, I don't think that's so easy. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool. Uh-oh.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
I said it's a jam. Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move.
Yeah, it definitely is a jam.
His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The jam. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Is she dragging us somewhere? Rest now and let me handle everything. Oh, she put us in bed.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
Gran didn't drug him. He drugged the jam for Mr. Nuncreed, who is a bad guy.
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
Because he's a bad man.
Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. A secret message for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly devil. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Major Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Oh damn.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing... hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your major, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This time wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine, so I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Not the most enthusiastic applause, though. Even that's more than the old codger deserves.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine,
He
everyone.
gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's see it for our mayor. What a great honor. Ah, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful
Mr.
podium.
Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Yeah, absolutely didn't prepare anything. Community, conviction, and commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am daggone thankful for it. Change is the reason we are all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which will change my life
Mr.
forever.
Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
Oh no. From the second I set foot in Beacon Pine, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity, represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held onto the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the fall harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to
His
each
voice
other.
began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand in the future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we will all be making a choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What
The
was
crowd
that?
began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always repeats what they saw. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
our harvest awaits. Oh no. This again.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
No, we got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Okay, we're gonna follow this path for now. The good cop and the sly cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What's going on here? You're that mute little girl. Please call me back. Sorry about all
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Jennifer sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Jennifer is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess you thought you needed some backup. But she sent a time. What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
It had to become uncomfortable. A little here. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we are both here
Beck
too.
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
Destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old girl's nothing if not heard of.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her though. If anyone were to find out that we are going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up
Beck
down
was
here.
on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You're sure you can finish this up on your own? Jennifer trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there's one more loose and I go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a Federal Harvest transmission. Underground secrets. It's ominous. I figured it might be a password, but Jennifer dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it? It's gonna mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work on it out. I've got this under control. It's a relay. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
That was easy. What the hell? You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time Mr. Hill was had at a candy shop. But all he ever said was his
Beck
apples.
blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password roller. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about the candy. Fine, in the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard the password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it
Beck
seems.
marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U will be 21. N will be 14. D would be... Oh! It's in a Nangra. Nangrid's drugstore. He sometimes seems to be a bit of a smart one.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Oh Lord, it was incredible. Well, it's either that or Grant's Nudge drugstore. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Oh, the music! Oh, it's her. Hello! You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me running around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man won't be led to his own funeral. Well, well. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work. You. I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this Incipient town festival really about?
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Carey does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as major so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what current perennial how his true intentions are with this town. You have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me. This was our father's town. He's gone, Iris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitable goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Iris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. The sun is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, Iris. See you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. Knowledge is bad with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. I already forgot where we have to go. Oh yeah.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. But I can say licorice would be my first choice. But whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice in confection. Oh yeah, I guess. Exile corpse. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some it's as easy as cold hard cash. Oh, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. The answer's gotta be around here somewhere. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Grand's Nut Drugstore. I mean, underground secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Alright, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great. Now what? Because
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Oh damn.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Well, not exactly, I suppose. Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conducts from Hank Atomic Issue 12 were real? Although at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. There's the thing we hid. Ah, this side has a broken mask. So have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat side. If it works like a non-creed and looks like a non-creed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he meant until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. Ah, that's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I have read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi
Bill's
tech.
hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Someone is coming. Rolo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even move yet. What was that? Hide? Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome! He came out of the warehouse. You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets? I told him it was an absurd password, but I love anything that makes him feel clever. They? Who? It's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skin. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. So stops now non-creed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. And idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist, both hell-bent on helping folks. So we were his sidekick? No, we were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was... It's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Ward loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he makes sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he still got me saying yes. Is there a point to the sub-story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Jennifer out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been shaming right under your nose. Jennifer? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, he is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now she's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain? But why
A jolt
would...
of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source? What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze, and dear God, she's going to freeze us all. So she was the one that froze us to death multiple times. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. Did it not go how I expected? So she is the villain? Or what is she doing? So... we are totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. If you listen closely, you can hear the foop. So as soon as I get sucked in, you hear foop.
Chapter 8. The cold, hard truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark.
So our grandma really just killed the whole town. For whatever reason.
Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Oh my gosh. That was intense. Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold? Doesn't look like it got any on any of us. It didn't feel like we've traveled that far. So where did all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? It kind of looks like where normally our house will stand because of the bow made out of bushes on the top right corner where it leads to the grave of his father's grave. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out of here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Duncreed. I think he went this way. Like, it really just looks like normally there will be the house and this way is the grave. It definitely is the grave. Is it like a different... Is it a parallel universum or something like that? It really is. What? This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear off the snow? No time, Duncreed's getting away. It definitely is our... Oh my gosh, it definitely is the town. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Duncreed is an alien. Rolo. Stick with me here. This species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back here. The final objective kill us all and shape-shift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you were very much lost me there. We get used to it. We should keep moving. Look at that. But it definitely looks like Beacon Pine, just frozen over.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Duncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Oh my gosh, it's really our grandma that's doing this. And yeah, basically killed us 3 times already with freezing over. 2 or 3 times. But why would she kill a whole city?
Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Duncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss nearby. A wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you're thinking you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran, what's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Duncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rowanback held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Duncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just send over the torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive. That's a turn of events.
Mr. Duncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself. Making their peace with long-held burdens, the wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to lie in your pockets. No, that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions, the wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness he began to weep.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This all makes sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. No, everyone is gonna be frozen over. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalty falls. Don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing
Before
to.
Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
And she did it again.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
We could try to chill guy. Maybe it changes something.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this, just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Look at what's going on here. Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Well, I just got a little startled. Rollo's
Rollo
here.
and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. The kids gave all Haram a good scare. Which does get me out of these ropes in Cordine.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust
Mr.
you?
Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all the stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes,
Luca gestured to the corner.
barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. Just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the binding. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. That's what makes sense in
He
time.
edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past,
Before the
indeed.
kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to...
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Light. Son of
Beth
a...
darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tied down there and let the elders handle
They
this.
looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation.
Are we gonna get frozen over
This
again?
isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
So, none of the options were okay. We only have the shame option here and it didn't work. So we have to do the flight version here. That's where Rollo is missing, right? Flight.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, okay, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr, we'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, Jax. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way we'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice.
Oh, they found the copycat town in ice.
It was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost them. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. If we get up here. Luca, are you
Luca
there?
had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Is that Bose okay? I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those
Luca
woods.
looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be
With a
rude.
resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. But howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents. I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving.
disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Can't we put something on it so they can't follow us? What's the red out? Sitting just about 258 Kelvin. It's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Yeah, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Do relax. Just a few more sides to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. Like I can almost make out letters under there. What town could this even be? There could be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we are dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. So it's the original Beacon Pines.
Disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all the snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. He has a point. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Does stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle shoved me into here.
The fencing listened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weepwood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all
Looking
frozen.
down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even gonna save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. We can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Are we freezing to death now? Again? Let's just rest for a
The
bit.
boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence.
The hyena is gonna come for us. The way the snow covered everything over, it's kinda calming. Yeah. Oh, I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Okay, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk will do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse ass. You were supposed to be a horse ass in response. That's how it works. Maybe I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you. Of course. Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rollo are always having a blast together, laughing and calling that dinky little trio's mission control.
Iggy wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet and even she already likes you. You have
He wiped
Tish.
his nose with his sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
It must be raining out here.
Iggy
Definitely.
arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's leave it low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all
Luca's
of this.
eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
I will try to sit in one of the buildings, not outside to be fair, Luca. Yeah. I always did want to see the inside of your drinky little trios. What do you think? Not bad. I gave you the full tour when we get back. You know what? Huh?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes.
I kind of feel like it's neither the future or the past thing, more like a parallel thingy, like clones.
Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off
Whether
me.
it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're
Luca
doing?
looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you?
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-headed, scarfy-necked phobo. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, and call me Ned.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a Ned and a buzz off? Very well.
Matt began to turn away indifferently.
Great. Do you believe fear? You might say that. So you know where we are. You might also say that. Look, Paul, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I show you how to get back
Luca
home.
and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open
For a
them.
brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Ned, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time through a gate in Weepwood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all just some cruel experiment by Care and his goons. But this is not our home. We are inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable dualists which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, revolution even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortable. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with a certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they
He
could.
looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home,
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through the wood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow.
Did they move the grave too?
Something hard. A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. You ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply. Just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me this flip like that? What if I couldn't find you?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. 259k. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259, sorry. You never think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who loved them will never know the truth. The truth is
He
overrated.
bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Oh. Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. Weirdo. Yeah, I thought I was a jerk. The stingers are out here literally dancing on
Luca
graves.
stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some
Iggy
advice.
gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey, who's any of us is helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover. Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you are a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When someone jerk comes at you acting like a horse ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Kurt and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off the switcheroo for a reason, right? That mentioned something about the
Luca
source.
wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to
He
smash?
flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad, I promise. Let's do this. It can get awful cold out there indoors, but look at. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh heavens, no! Do I seem like a killer to
Iggy
you?
and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Oh shucks, now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or
Luca
another.
rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you
He
didn't.
stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop. I prefer to think of it as an incendiary decoration. So by your shoulders, seeing the looks on your faces. Would have got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried them under the tree. But when I came back for them later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found them and tossed
Iggy
them.
triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Yeah, imagine that. It's not the stuff you hide that gets moved, but you as a person get moved. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they are a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for Blasterflöße. Crooked. Just like this whole stinking place. So we still can find these secret thingies. The charms.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo, 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 echo. Wow, I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source. It's a dang hole. How do we smash a hole? Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Care. Where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two at least. Druts, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a dozy of a question. This is the source where they collect the unrefined.
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh heavens no, my rose. Merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us. You're a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy licker. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of lifetime. And you happen to be extras ready for your certain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile is not gonna be so winning after we are done with you. Now boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a
Kerr
bit.
snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't?
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Oh no, we're gonna die of ice explosion again. Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you, regret is one of my specialities. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw this in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. That's fun
Iggy
enough.
plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool. Call off your groons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You all can head back for the night. It's been a long day. I handle this too from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like
With a
this?
nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Oh, we're gonna die out of ice again. Ooh. Wow.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. Oh, what kind do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way I will get out of this is if Chaos out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis
With a
Young.
wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Wow, can you believe this guy?
Luca's Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Yeah, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. I'm just a new good bully. Like you, Karen. Iggy, no. Oh my gosh. No.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Bakadoos travel in packs.
Calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do
Iggy's
this.
voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Oh my gosh. Luca had no choice but to accept. Do we refuse or accept his choice? Oh my gosh. If we accept, he drops down with the fireworks and we are all gonna get an explosion of ice again, right? And if we refuse, we're gonna get bumped. I'm gonna refuse and we can still play this one later with the accept.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Oh no.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
So we gotta do the accept thing.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. You should get out of here before Perennial Harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempus licamin is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryonic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? There's one way of putting it, yes. A As dumb luck would have it, the folks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case. Oh well, I can tell you what would have happened.
We have some idea what that would look like.
We have. It would take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all of this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my
A
role?
fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm?
Those are names though.
That's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good?
I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
So we have found one kind of ending. We can hum.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother.
Hallo Simba. Wo ist denn? Hier. Du bist in Mandarine reingetreten. Das findest du sicher nicht ganz so toll. Ja. Was denn Simba? Weißt du nicht, wo du hin sollst? Ah, jetzt.
Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
I have goosebumps again. the good ending now? What do we have to stand
Luca
up?
lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, Melody Book. Is it his mother? Is that his mother and she got hit by whatever thing makes you older? Bookaroo. The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? It's right, Bookaroo. Mom!
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. I should have known I would never want my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you have pieced it together by now. You're exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? You tore me up, Luca, but I did to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago. Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them. Every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
That is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff on the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret Imperial house only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave the town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Miss Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing a tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. Excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They are planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her, she has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. Now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about this disruption. May I say it will take this obvious disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She is not the one who is disturbed. You two-time clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreech.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreech's face.
Oh, he didn't die, did he? He just cloned himself younger or something? Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite a thorn in my side. Like a weed that's buried in where it doesn't belong. I must confess you look
He
dreadful.
paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in a rare company. You've managed to pull one over me on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are just yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed
Kerr
upon.
gave a bow of deference.
Fauna, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No. Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha, wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. So this is not the time for audience or participation. Some assistance, Mr.
William
Kerr?
Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboard.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute?
Helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? Town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an underestimated. But silence, Augustus, and Odold is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Harris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it at this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about? It's alright, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Not anywhere as Joseph. You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense, the people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what did because you left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up, you're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorry state than any of you. An aging actor desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of perennial harvest? You think that puffed up leather skit could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invited William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned
Mr.
it.
Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, the spy extraordinary at your service. Oh, the one that wrote a book about himself. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly was the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a patsy the whole time? Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? What is the delicious part? Fear. Thanks to our clippers, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And we make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha, the young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity if things would have gone a bit differently. You might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it.
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat, let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
We have 2 open branches still. We have one here. And we have one here. Nice.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this to all be over. Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for the road at the tree house.
Luca twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Oh, young Mr. something something, Sharper. He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mama always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. But my problems always seem to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know what, that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Identify yourself, please. Nellie Maudeville. I work here now. I am unable to locate you on our staff row. Why don't officially start until tomorrow? Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance at tourist. Thank you. Or how is the weights? Can I do something with it? No, I can't. Rolo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rolo! Well, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace.
Oh yeah, that's the timeline
Once
where
again,
Rolo's
Luca
missing.
found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket. A keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. "Wait? For what?" Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me." Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. "And you?" The doppelganger choked back tears. "I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone. Does that make sense?" Through his tears, Luca laughed. "I think so." His father pulled him in for an embrace. "Time to go, Buckaroo." Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in
A
there?
commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open. Chapter 5. Dangers big and small. Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
It's him! Stop right there. Or, sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are
The
you?
large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now, I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rolo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rolo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is she? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rolo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Don't know, they threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big look.
Rolo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower, but beggars can't be choosers. Rolo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rolo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What
His
the?
hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rolo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ugh. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kinda tasted like licorice. I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sorta smashed up in my cage and escaped. Were you smashed up in a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage? Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we are gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Look, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We might finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Yeah, your mom got older too. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger.
Rolo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I take them all on. Hey fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rolo dove behind Luca.
Eh? Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is big. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. Didn't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? Oh no, this is my buddy Rolo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. I hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luga, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rolo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened. Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rolo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rolo. This has been a weird day all around, hasn't it?
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was to try to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Okay, just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing, I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? I just kinda felt like a change. This is going to take forever to grow out. You were the one who said a change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to
Ilona
heart.
tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. The Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck. Yes, him and his weird cult of personality. You're not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. The people are weird. I just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains, you'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know, I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning I have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another
She
peep.
sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey, but that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair
She
more,
flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you will look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need to help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kinda like this look. Great, can we get back to the story now? This next part is the important bit. I have this radio upgraded with my mom and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you here? Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Nellie Melrose seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? Her work must be complete before the festival. I will make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends? Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospect in the company. Immediately, sir. I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We're in the end game, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No less ends here. Once she finishes the work, she will either leave the office completely committed to Perumal Harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit. Oh? It's just we seem to be rushing to hit the festival deadline, and rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. But I make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly and not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Well, yeah. Just so we are clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone. Capital
Luca
murder.
gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is the founder? I was hoping you guys would know. As far as we know, Kara's the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy. So we have an even topper banana on the field. Sorry. I just choked on water. What the hell has my mom got? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body was the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? The creep on the radio said they were going to hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and
Beck
get her.
flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this will help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map from my mom's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exit marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is,
Rollo
right?
started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we are heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6. The Heist. They spent the night's end huddled around that small map, formulating a plan to infiltrate the headquarters of Perennial Harvest. It would be no small feat. A modern facility equipped with all manner of technology, not to mention the swarm of clipboards that would most certainly be scattered throughout. By the time the sun began to peek through the car window used as a makeshift balcony door, all were in agreement. This could just work. The final day before the festival would be used to prepare. They'd need to pool every resource at their disposal, pull every favor with a thread, even enlist some unsavory characters around town with important tasks only they were suited for. Luckily, there was enough ill will and mistrust toward Perennial Harvest that alliances could be found at a bargain. Luca, Beck, and Rollo rubbed their eyes as they exited the treehouse. They hadn't slept at all that night. There was no time. The festival was to begin in 1 day, and they each had their assignments.
Alright, quick recap. What are you gonna talk to Roxy? Cordially. Without her and Fitz, this whole thing could go bust. Me, Cordial, is my middle name. Uh-huh. And how do you plan to explain your new
Waved vaguely at Rollo's sizable figure.
circumstance? But she'll be so happy I'm alive she won't even
Beck
notice.
snorted an involuntary giggle.
And Beck, you're sure Ilona won't just shoot this whole thing down when she hears it? She'll listen. When she understands that the danger Ellie is in, the danger we are all in, the plan will make sense. Okay. Okay, that leaves me with Joff and the Iggy. How are you gonna pursue them? I think of
They each
something.
looked at each other with sleepy confidence and nodded.
Oh, Godspeed. Undaunted, he shook his head. Over? No. Endings are merely a state of mind. This doesn't end until I give up. Wow. I admire the conviction. But can he really pull through? Hey Jeff, what can I do for you? I know how much you hate perennials. Hate's a strong word. Oh, sorry, I didn't say it was the wrong word. Gotcha. So we are gonna break into their headquarters, and I thought you might be able to help.
Jeff wheezed out a long snicker.
Yeah, see, I knew you kids were alright. Great, so you'll
The
help?
joy in Jeff's face drained instantly.
Not a chance. But give me one good reason I should risk my hide aiding and abetting your
Looking into the
rascals.
sullen eyes of his would-be accomplice, Luca blurted out the first word that came to mind.
Junk! Yeah, what of it? Sonny, I've got more junk than a king has copper. And it interested.
Luca wasn't ready. He shouted out,
Fight. I've done enough fighting for one lifetime and more than my share of losing. Time has come to hang up to the gloves. Yeah, all crooks. Like cockroaches. Stamp run out and another comes scurrying along to take its place. Shit. Yeah, it's all shit. I say I ain't helping. Ain't that some shit? Hide.
Jeff's brow perked up.
What'd you say? Go ahead and hide then.
Sensing some traction, Luca carried on with vigor.
Let a bunch of kids do what needs to be done. We are not
Jeff's
afraid.
scowl faded with a sigh.
Say what you will about the old Joff, and they all do. But you'll never hear him say I hate from
One
nothing.
good stomp of the foot was all Jeff needed to drive his point home.
Imagine if you had known this sooner. What was it you kids needed? Some sort of disguise. I've got just the thing. And while we are at it, that crate should come in handy. This ain't gonna be free, you know. I'm thinking 5 bags of Saragop should cover it. Put it on my tab.
Luca offered out his open hand to seal the deal. With a firm and dusty grip, Jeff reciprocated.
Done. Swing by first thing in the morning. Now we gotta find Iggy. You ever wondered why an agriculture company employs an army of survey takers? The clipboards, they say they are just trying to make us happy. Do they want to make us happy? or just figure out what makes us him. An important distinction. And she is completely right. Where could Iggy be? Up here? Where would Iggy be? He wasn't down here, was he? No. Is he in the... No, in the library we looked at it. Oh, there they are. Hey Tish, look who it is. Luca, are you here to try to tickle us to death again? Look, just hear me out.
Iggy raised an eyebrow suspiciously.
We're listening. Iggy, I know we've both been giant bags of shit to each
Iggy
other.
gave a reluctant shrug.
You're not wrong. But lately life has been kinda strange, you know.
Iggy considered the point.
Things have been weird around you. So I'm offering a truce and asking you for your help. What do you say, we... Pull our hostilities at least for now. Pull? You don't pull away from nothing. Buzz off. I didn't know what he was gonna say.
Iggy and Tish to pull this. He tried again.
You know we've both been going shits to each other.
Iggy gave a reluctant shrug.
But lately life has been kinda strange.
Iggy considered the point.
So I'm offering a truce and asking for your help. What is safe? We hide. Our hostilities at least for now. Hide? You ain't no cowards. Buzz off.
Iggy gave a reluctant shrug. Iggy considered the point.
Break our hostilities. We do like breaking things. Even if a truce means less breaking things. What if I told you that there was a way to have a truce and break stuff? Go on. I need you to cause a distraction so I can sneak into perennial harvest
A
HQ.
wild-eyed grin spread across Iggy's face.
My, look up and on. I'm impressed. And after this is all done, maybe you and Tish can come hang out at the treehouse
Iggy
sometime.
glanced over to Tish, who nodded in agreement.
Fine. But not because we want to see your crappy treehouse. We just like to cause
With a quick
chaos.
nod, Luca was off.
Did you hear that,
He
Tish?
gazed up at Tish with a smile.
He invited us to hang out at the
A single
treehouse.
tear ran down Tish's cheek.
I never expected this day to come. How wonderful. She can talk.
Chapter 7.
But I'm gonna end the stream for now. At chapter 7, because it's already 4:30 in the evening. I have to feed the cats. I have to prepare dinner for myself since I'm alone. And I have to do another round of laundry today. And that all takes a bit of time, and we will be back way late in the evening today. So prepare for that, and we will hopefully get through the games and today. We see each other today in the evening. Bye bye.